that makes tonight a must-win in Latvia. The hosts hurting after Croatia smashed in 5 on Friday.
Scintillating football from Croatia and another goal at the end of it. It has been a masterful display from Croatia to remind the challengers in Group D that they mean business.
Well, how Rob Page could do with a thumping big win, although any win might do, as he tries to keep the critics quiet.
It's part of football. Everybody's going to have an opinion on it. The guys in the press, the supporters, of course they are. And they're not always going to agree with what I do or how I go about my work. So I just have to be true to myself and do what I think is right.
Yeah, big night for Robert. Big night too for Roberts. It's cap number 50 for Connor in Riga, almost exactly 5 years after scoring on his competitive debut.
Bale slides it across to Connor Roberts to shoot. What a shot! What a goal! What a time to score for the very first time in your career! A competitive goal for Connor Roberts, capped by a goal!
Yeah, another one tonight would help, wouldn't it? Roberts starts this evening, as does captain Aaron Ramsey. Latvia against Wales coming up. Plus, we'll have reaction from the Rugby World Cup after the brilliant Battle of Bordeaux.
6-point match, and BG come again. Now they go wide to Isova, out wide to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. They dropped it on, and Wales have escaped one of the most dramatic games of rugby you will ever see.
This is BBC Radio Wales Sport
with Ian Hunt.
That wasn't a bad game, was it? Good evening and welcome to Radio Wales Sports. Live as well tonight on BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra. We could do this, can't we? Another nervy night watching Wales desperately trying to win. If you're not really a rugby fan, you probably had a fairly relaxing Sunday by comparison and maybe wondering what all the fuss is about. But how relaxing is tonight going to be, knowing that Rob Page's Wales really need a win in Riga to keep alive their hopes of qualifying automatically for Euro 2024. Just one win from the first 4 qualifiers, and those awful June defeats to Armenia and Turkey means that Wales need the second half of this campaign to go pretty much perfectly if they are to finish in the top 2. 2 former Wales strikers with me this evening. Ian Walsh in studio. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ian.
And Nathan Blake in the beautiful Latvian capital of Riga. How are you, Nathan? How is it there?
That's pretty lively, Ian. Both teams out on the pitch warming up. Lovely evening. Not overly muggy, it's still warm, but music pumping and everyone's excited, looking forward to the game.
Good. It's a good trip, isn't it, for Wales fans, this one. It feels, Nathan, like a key game for Wales for so many reasons. Obviously, to try to get qualification hopes back on track, for Rob Page to lift the pressure on himself. I suppose also just to give Wales fans a bit of fun, to put smiles back on faces.
Yeah, it's been a while. Listen, it's been a bad run of games and a bad run of results. I don't think anyone could doubt that. But, these things happen sometimes in football. We've had come off the back of a poor World Cup, a fantastic qualifying campaign to get there. And we've sort of hit the buffers. Like Rob said earlier, we were chatting and, losing some huge names, and arguably Wales' greatest player has taken its toll. But supposed to be in transition, and if you're in transition, then you need time for things to change. It's not just going to happen overnight. There are a lot of players here with over 20, 30 caps who you can't be calling them inexperienced anymore, and it's for them players to try and step up and fill that void. You're never going to fill the void of Gareth Bale completely, the loss of Gareth Bale completely, but you've got 3 or 4 players who, could maybe get up to 60-70% of what he'd done. But Wales just have to play better, they have to defend better, they have to be harder to beat. And Rob Page, I'm sure, by evidence of the South Korea game, he's reverted back to a back 5. And I think that's a good plan. But I also think that the wing backs really need to engage more and get higher up the pitch when it's called for. So, a lot of things to think about for Rob, but fingers crossed he can get a good result tonight.
We'll look at that team in detail in just a moment, but Ian Walsh with me in studio. Fierce criticism of Rob Page, of course, for the way things have gone. 1 win in 13. We don't want to over-dramatise the situation, but then again, we don't know what people at the FAW are thinking. So if he loses tonight in Latvia, Do you think that they might make a change?
I don't think they'll make a change. No, they might think about making a change, but I don't think they will make a change, and I don't think they used to. As Blakey quite rightly say, this is very much a team in transition, and Blakey says if you've got somebody 60 to 70% of Gareth Bale, then I would go for somebody 5 to 10% as good as Gareth Bale, because that's going to be something really special as well. Yeah, we've lost our talisman, we've lost lots of good players. Joe Allen, Bale, take people like that out of your team, and it's going to be difficult to rebuild and sort of regenerate, if you want. We've got lots of young talent there, lots of players who've played a few games as well, so there's no excuses for them. But also, this is the way of the world with football these days. With Pagey, I think it's going to be, he's got to get a result tonight to keep the pressure off. And whether we're going to be good enough between now and the end of the campaign to qualify in those automatic positions will dictate really what the future holds for Robbie Page. But we're all behind him. There's a lot of cynics out there, and I call them a lot of waste of time, really, because they do miff me off, for want of a better term, because everybody's going to realise when you lose worldy players, we're talking world players, and to be fair to Aaron Ramsey's come back to Cardiff, and he's doing well, he's looking sharp, looking fitter, but he's not the player he was 4 or 5 years ago. So it is transition, a lot of new talent, they've got to gel. He's got to find the best way of playing. But I totally agree, we've got to stop the goals going in. Be hard to beat, start from scratch, and let the talent that we've got higher up the field hopefully create the score goals.
Miff me off. Not heard that one before.
No, well, I was thinking of the word that I shouldn't use, and I shouldn't have used it, so something different is. I won't go there.
We will run through the Group D table in full in just a moment, just to sort of explain, just to remind you exactly where Wales stand in terms of qualification. First, though, let's get the details on that team then from Rob Phillips, who's alongside Nathan Blake there. Evening, Rob.
Yes, welcome evening Ian to the Skonta Stadium here in Riga. Here's the Wales team then, much as expected. It's Danny Ward in goal, then 5 across the back: Connor Roberts, Chris Mepham, Joe Rodham, Ben Davies and Nico Williams. Ethan Ampadu alongside Jordan James made his first start against Korea, makes his first competitive start now in this game, and then it's Aaron Ramsey returning as captain in place of Nathan Broadhead, alongside Harry Wilson, and leading the line Brennan Johnson. And Latvia have made a couple of changes from the team that were thrashed 5-0 in Croatia on Friday. They changed their goalkeeper. Robert Ozils comes in to the number 1 spot, and also in midfield Raymond Krollis goes to their lineup as well. They are 134th in the FIFA rankings. That's 99 places below Wales. How much will that count tonight?
We shall see, and actually Latvia will be unable to finish in the top 2 if they lose this evening. Nothing else can be settled in Group D tonight. One full-time score, though, from the 5 o'clock kickoff. Croatia winning 1-0 in Armenia. So 2 wins from 2 over the last 4 days for them. It means they go top, ahead of Turkey on goal difference. So now Croatia leading on 10, second are Turkey on 10, then it's Armenia on 7 points, Wales 4th in the group on 4. So they're now 6 points behind both Croatia and Turkey. Latvia bottom with 0 points. Wales need to beat Latvia by 5 to go 3rd in the table this evening. And you can watch the highlights later, as ever, here on the BBC, BBC One Wales and the iPlayer at 20 to 11. And part of the panel this evening will be the former Wales international Nia Jones, who has popped into studio. Nia, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And actually, I've got to say, I've got the radio face on tonight. I'm not on the panel, but you will maybe hear my husky voice on some of the commentary. Oh,
well, look forward to that. So you're on commentary with Simon tonight?
I am, lucky me.
Have you got a Spice Girls t-shirt on?
I have. You've outed me live on radio. I can't believe it.
Sorry about that. Hey, you're going to wear it,
That's true.
I always reference what people are wearing on their t-shirts, don't I?
I'm enjoying your Britney Spears one that you've got on at the minute as well, Ian.
How are you? I've left that at home. How are you feeling about it then? I mean, let's talk about the team first of all, shall we? And the team he's gone with tonight. Quite simple. Aaron Ramsey coming in for Nathan Broadhead.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think, we all had a little laugh, didn't we, when we heard Page's interview last week when he said he really didn't want to play that South Korea game. Actually, the way he ended up playing it and the lineup he ended up playing, the fact that we can say, yes, now in hindsight we came out with no niggles and injuries, I think it was a brilliant dress rehearsal for that group. I don't know about you, but coming off the back of that June